Hi folks, this is my first video, and in this channel we will talk about not only the books but its creators also, because creators are equally important as the books are. It will be a little bit lengthy and we will discuss about the books, not just talk about whether it's good or bad, but we will discuss in detail. Today's book is Tara Westover's Educated. Educated is not just any other memoir, it's a rare book. It's brutally honest. It's honest to the point of shamefulness, and it wears its shamefulness in a very dignified manner. Sounds complicated? Just pick up the book, you will understand what I mean. When you actually get to pick up the book and you experience the full length of it, you will find out that at its core, the book is a very ambitious book. It's very layered, very textured, very intricate, and it definitely deserves the praise that it receives all across the globe. So a 7-year-old Tara looks on from the mountain top, where his father's junkyard is located just beside their home. She looks on and imagines the face of a princess, which is visible as the dark contours of the mountain, and the evening gets darker and the trees starts to dance crazily as the storm progresses, and their fragile home quivers and metal pieces are scattered here and there under the pressure of the wind. Her skill in writing is terrific. It's so simple and so encouraging. It's like a fan-filled packed crowd stadium where everyone is cheering you and all you have to do is just to read on. Although the novel is very relatable most of the time, the situation that is described is not a very ordinary situation. Not every father lives a nomad's life just because he is suspicious of the government. Not every child is brought up in a place that has a population of 250. In Tara's case, this place is called Cliffland City. And not every child has to scavenge for scraps of metals on the junkyard. Not every child is rebuked at when she steals some time to study. Neither is every wounds and burns and gases and accidents are treated by praying to angels and essential oils. Believe it or not, Tara had to navigate through all this mess in the beginning of 21st century, and that was also in the US. These sort of things sounds familiar in Indian context, because India has a long-standing problem where some communities feel isolated and they distrust the government. But this is not the face of America that we are accustomed to. But as the story progresses, you will see, along with Tara, that the problem was not laid across the fault lines. The problem was not with the governments. The problem was in Tara's father's head. He had an illusion that the government is after him, which was not entirely true. Because Tara was raised in such a way that she had no outside contact, it took her very long to understand that the problem was the progression of a disease called mental illness. Now I'll tell you how I came across this amazing writer. I should have come across her earlier because the world was getting gaga over the book. It was already a New York Times bestseller. It was one of those sleepless nights that I found out one of her lectures that was delivered in the Northeastern University graduation as the Northeastern University graduation commencement speech. It is titled The Uninstagrammable Self, and it was an amazing lecture. It just blew off my mind. Also, as a bonus, at the end of the lecture she showcased her tremendous musical prowess. She is very melodious. Now, coming back to the book, she was almost 17 and she had not seen what a classroom can look like. Amazing, but not in case of Tara. She found out very earlier in her childhood that she had an innate inclination towards books and music. She had taught herself algebra and grammar. She had basically homeschooled herself in algebra and grammar in order to be admitted against her parents' ultimatum to Brigham Young University with the help of a church people. When she was admitted with a history honors, she found out, to her utter surprise and her friends, that she did not know of the familiar global events like Holocaust or civil rights movement. But she quickly adapted to the ways of the civilized world and she started excelling. This book, in the current chaotic times, if teaches anything, it teaches the power of adapting and adapting quickly and smartly and adapting to disruption. And she showcased the effectiveness of it through the hell lot of adapting that she did in her life. Her quest for life completely transforms her worldview and changes the path of her life. After graduating from Brigham Young University, she crosses the continent and goes to Harvard. Actually, she crosses the ocean at first and goes to Oxford and then comes back to Harvard and then goes to Cambridge again. Now she holds a master's and a PhD from one of these distinguished institutions. Like the great world famous book that all of you know about, Alchemist. Like Alchemist, this book is also about self-discovery. And any self-discovery comes with a price. That price Tara also had to pay dearly. When you truly discover yourself, you are empowered in a way that you are not ready to take any shit. However dear one this shit may have come from, you have to revolt at some point. And in Tara's case, it was her family. Now what will you do if you are, God forbid, in a situation in one of your elder sibling forces your head into the toilet and would not let you go until you acknowledge that you are a whore? And what would you do if one of your sibling, just so that you drive his point home, in front of your parent cuts your fingers and warns you there will be bloodbath if you don't listen to him? Education brings you face to face with who you really are. Education gives you the acute insight that tells you when your fierce loyalty for your family is harming you. Education gives you the power to sever your closest ties, and education saves you from the guilt that comes along with it. In this book, Tara crafts a wonderful, brilliantly written, coming-of-age, universal story that takes you to the heart of what education is and what education can offer. In an interview, Tara said very rightly that it is education that is laid in the fault line between the poor and the wealthy now. If it does not change your worldview completely, it will certainly add a fresh perspective to it. Friends, think about giving it a read. It's worth it. One final note. I was not able to get over this writer, not just because she was young and beautiful, but she was very, very talented and insightful. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey, she was interviewed by Bill Gates, Oprah Winfrey, and many, many more prominent individuals of today's times. And in that interview with Oprah Winfrey, she said something so powerful, and I was struck by the sheer wisdom of it. She said, and I quote, "You can love someone and still say goodbye to them. You can miss someone every moment of the day and still choose not to have them in your life." She was in fact talking about her family. So this is all, folks. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment on it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Give me some encouragement, and I'm looking forward to making a lot of these videos. Goodbye for today.